we are diving into the aura types, starting with the manifestor. So I want to introduce you to Sophia, who has been my Human Design and Gene Keys teacher for about 8 years. So let's have a warm welcome. Go ahead, Sophia, and it's so great to have you here.
Okay, well, starting with the manifestors, we find that that's about 8% of the population, and manifestors have been the kings and queens of the past, and as their name suggests, they manifest things. They're the people who have a big energy, and they kind of look into the future and imagine what's coming and are prepared to respond. So they have a unique and essential impact, and they organize and move forward, kind of like a person with a machete cleaning the brush ahead to make a path to go forward. And so this is all well and good, but they have an aura that is repelling. It repels other people. It puts people on their guard. So when this kind of person walks in a room, a manifestor walks in a room, people may find themselves catching their breath or taking a step back or just pause and feel into the energy. What is this person's intent? What are they going to do? Because one feels the big energy that they have. And so it's a yang primal force kind of energy. And the person wants to know, is this for me or against me? Is this something I need to worry about? So the manifestor meets with resistance everywhere they go, because it brings up fear. It brings up worrying about who's in control. Do I have any control? This person feels very controlling and very powerful. Where do I fit into the picture? And so in order for the manifestor to work with the energy of resistance that the manifestor feels, they need to inform people what they're up to. They need to let people know, so that when one senses that big energy, the big energy, a manifestor could reach their hand across you to open a window, and you could think they were going to hit you. But if they say, may I reach across and open the window? Okay, sure. And then one can relax. So it's just as we talk about the aura types, this is electromagnetic energy. So there's an energy force field. One person's aura is speaking to another person's aura, and they're responding to that. What does that mean? So a manifestor, the expression, just do it now, that was written for manifestors, but that's only 8% of the population. The rest of us can't get away with that. And the only way a manifestor can get away with that is to inform people what it is they're going to be up to. And also they need to inform people when they change the plan and what was going to happen is no longer going to happen. Otherwise, people feel disrespected, and then they become fearful that they're not being included in the overall projection of what the manifestor is projecting into the future. They're going to take action. They're going to make something happen. But is that going to help or hurt me? And each person, this fear comes up and wonders and brings up control issues. So to be able to understand there's going to be resistance. You have this big energy. You walk in the room, people go, oh dear, what does this mean? And when the manifestor can develop a bedside manner, so to speak, of just informing people, letting them know, then there just creates this harmonic give and take of energy. And perhaps when the manifestor informs, one of the people can say, well, that's not going to work because the road is blocked and we need to go this other way. Oh, okay, thanks for the information. So then there's a respectful give and take of communication. But the manifestor is meant to have this big energy that can sort of see over the next mountain and keep moving forward to what comes next. And in a perfect world, the manifestor works to get everything started, and then a projector aura is the type that would come in and help guide the process, especially guiding the generators. And generators are the Energizer bunnies that have all the energy to actually complete processes and bring them to the end result. And then the reflector aura is a very rare aura, and that's sampling, tasting, feeling into how is it going with this project that we're manifesting. So each of us has a part to play, and the manifestor's energy is important, and a manifestor can measure how well they're doing with their ability to manifest by what is their level of anger like in their life. Are they feeling angry and frustrated because they keep getting resistance, or are they carrying around a deep peace because they've learned to inform, they've learned to remove the resistance, they've learned to take in the energy and adjust their course and create success with what they're doing. So a manifestor should be at peace, and a lot of manifestors I know bump into anger a lot because learning this process of informing, it's an art, and it goes against the nature of the manifestor, who doesn't need other people to help them. They can just go manifest, they can do it, and it seems like they have to wait for everyone else to catch up with them, with their vision, with their idea, and then we can finally move forward. So there's a bit of why is it so cumbersome to do this? But if they don't inform, there's going to be this natural resistance, this natural fear, and learning how to work with that brings peace and successful outcomes.
That's really important for people to understand, because we all know people that their energy is so big it almost knocks you over, and either, like you said, it repels or includes, and it's inclusive when a manifestor understands the roles of others, and then their job becomes much easier and effortlessly comes into fruition. And I know that because I've talked to manifestors that once they mastered, or at least were aware of what their aura does to others and how they let go of control, realizing there were projectors and manifesting generators and generators that could assist them, they didn't have the expertise for, and made their lives just so much simpler, and how projects came together so effortlessly. And then I know another manifestor that has no clue of her aura and how it knocks everybody to the ground. And she could be a far more successful artist if she understood how to be inclusive of other aura types. So yes, it's really important.
Each of the aura types has a sleep pattern that is most beneficial to them. And for the manifestor, their aura type does best if they go to bed before they're tired, spend maybe an hour lying down reading. So they just want to disconnect and unwind from all the electromagnetic combining they've had during the day, to just return. Each of us needs to return to our own auric essence at the end of the day, to reset, renew, recharge. And also, as we're doing this, each of the aura types is strongly encouraged to sleep alone, not sleep in connection with another aura near them, so that this resetting process, this reconnecting with our own deep essence, is allowed to renew and refresh every day. And our aura is such that if we extend our arms out, arm's length beside us, our aura extends another arm length further. So our auras are going to commingle, connect, share information, and cause some kind of a give and take energy that's happening. When we want to relax and rest, we want to discontinue that temporarily. Doesn't mean that partners don't have time together in the evening. It's just that when it's time to rest and renew the body and renew the auric force, then to give the separate space to allow that. Just is a deepening of coming back to our center, so we can take on everybody else's aura again the next day. Does that make sense?
Yes, and you were mentioning that even with your partner, when you started sleeping in a separate bedroom.
Yes, it was quite revealing for me when I understood about comparing people's charts, and when auras interact on a daily basis. If one person has a full channel, and the other person has only one gate of that channel. That's called compromise in a chart. And I realized in my relationship, my husband compromised my chart 3 different times, which meant that it was hard for him to hear me. His way, the full channel, was easy for him to understand. Hearing another perspective was more difficult. And so when I started sleeping separately as recommended by teachings, I realized that I was getting much more clarity, and I was able to be seen and heard in ways that I hadn't been before. So unconnecting my aura with his aura so that I could reconnect with my essence and contribute deeper part of myself toward what we were doing in relationship was a real important learning process for me. And I know a lot of people ignore that part, that recommendation of human design, but I know from my experience it really made a huge difference in my experience of my own energy.
Yes, and I remember about 20 years ago in design, when I was working on clients' homes, I really started seeing the introduction of separate his and her bedrooms with a connected bathroom. And I thought that was curious when it first was presented to me, and then it made perfect sense. And it wasn't, the ladies said, first she said, well, because he snores. And people needed an excuse because society puts labels. They had a wonderful marriage, but if they said they just wanted separate rooms, people perceive that as it wasn't a wonderful marriage because we are so brainwashed by our media. And in fact, what she said is she had different time zones. Like she liked to get up super early and she liked to write and get up in the night and might write in her journal, whatever. And, he went to bed at different times and it just worked that way. And then when they wanted intimacy, they could go to each other's room. It made perfect sense. And I really, really respect that because I know I was brainwashed to believe that meant you didn't have a good relationship. And now I'm like, are you kidding? Of course I want my separate room. Not only do I want to decorate it the way I want, because it's an intimate space. I mean, we are dreaming how much of our life. I love the idea. So thanks for
Right.
that.
What's right for me and what's right for my partner may not be the same thing at all. And doesn't it make sense to just separate that refreshing, renewing process so you tune into your own essence, whatever that is, and be informed and expand and renew in whatever way that's right? It makes so much sense to do that if we can step out of the conditioning ways we are influence to think things should be a certain way. Why not give it a try and see if one sees an improvement, really?
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Anything else that pops in your mind about manifestors?
Well, the manifestor needs to use the measuring stick always of, am I getting triggered and angry all the time? And if the anger is showing up, it means that they've really dropped the strategy of informing people to get their feedback, to reassure them that they're being respected, they're part of what's being considered with this forward movement, this initiation energy, this getting something started and moving, making something happen, and overcoming the fear and the resistance. So if people are feeling deep peace with the manifestor is able to work with and work through, and there's not a lot of resistance, then that anger is just going to go away. It's going to seem like, wow, I don't know why I had to be triggered and angry all the time. It's so easy if I just inform people, then they're grateful because the manifestor has a lot of energy, and if they're on your side, wow, that's great. You want them on your side.
Now that's perfect. I just love understanding other aura types so I know how I can work with certain people effectively and what their role is. And that's really, really important. And, I think I mentioned in our last talk that people think we didn't come with a roadmap, but we did. And it's in human design, it's in Gene Keys. This is our manual. And if we understand our manual and other people in our lives' manual, we can create incredible opportunities for ourselves, for them, and just be amazed at what unfolds together. So, yeah, thank you for that. Anything else you want to add?
Well, I think that's all to discuss about manifestors. We can move on to
Great, sounds good. So we'll go on and discuss generators next. Thanks so much, and you'll find contact information below in the comments. All right, see you soon.